Do you truly believe, right at this moment, that the United States is invincible? When you wake up, you trust the banks will be open. You trust that the grocery store has food. You trust that your 401k will be there for your retirement. But here is the terrifying truth. Throughout history, in every fallen empire, people believed the exact same thing, right up until the day it all ended. Think back to September 14, 2008, just hours before Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy and the world changed. Most Americans were enjoying a typical Sunday. They had no idea the floor was about to drop out. National collapse isn't like the movies. It's not always explosions or troops in the streets. It comes quietly. It comes slowly. And then, all at once, the system looks solid on the surface. We see the Capitol building, the IRS collecting taxes, and the military functioning. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. The real danger is underwater. Let's talk about the number nobody wants to face. $34 trillion. That is the current U.S. national debt. It's a number so large, the human brain can't even comprehend it. If you spent $1 million every single day since the birth of Jesus, you still wouldn't have spent $1 trillion. The U.S. owes 34 times that. Politicians tell you, don't worry, our GDP is huge, we can handle it. But here is the trap. That number doesn't include the unfunded liabilities, Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits. When you add those up, some analysts estimate the real debt is over $100 trillion. Every American child born today is effectively born with a six-figure debt hanging over their head. How does a government pay this off? They have three choices. 1. Raise taxes. 2. Print money. Or 3. Borrow more to pay old debts. It is the ultimate Ponzi scheme. And when the music stops, the first thing to break isn't the bank. It is trust. To understand why trust is fragile, you have to understand how your bank actually works. You deposit $10,000. Does the bank keep it in a vault? No. They keep a tiny fraction, maybe 0 to 10%, and lend the rest out for mortgages and car loans. That money gets deposited in another bank, which lends it out again. This is fractional reserve banking. It works like magic, as long as everyone doesn't ask for their money back at the same time. But if they do, that's a bank run. We saw it with Silicon Valley Bank in 2023. We saw it in the Great Depression. The money simply isn't there. So, how do we know if the collapse is coming? The warning signs are already flashing red. You just need to know where to look. Sign number 1. The Treasury Bond Market. U.S. Treasury bonds used to be the risk-free asset of the world. But lately, yields are volatile. When the interest rate on government debt spikes, it means the world is demanding a higher premium to lend America money. It means they are starting to doubt us. Sign number 2. Inflation and purchasing power. The dollar isn't crashing against other currencies. It's crashing against reality. Groceries, insurance, housing. The cost of living is suffocating the middle class. When your paycheck stays the same, but buys less every month, that is a silent default on the American promise. Sign number 3. The real estate bubble 2.0. In 2008, it was subprime mortgages. Today, look at commercial real estate. Office buildings sit empty, yet the loans on them still need to be paid. And let's not forget the housing market. Affordability is at an all-time low. If prices correct, millions will be underwater, just like in 2008. Sign number 4. The zombie companies. For a decade, interest rates were near zero. Companies that should have gone bust survived by borrowing cheap money. They are zombie companies. Now that rates are higher, they can't pay the interest. A wave of corporate bankruptcies isn't a possibility, it's a mathematical certainty. But wait, you say. The Fed will save us. They printed us out of 2008 and 2020. Here is the uncomfortable truth. They are out of ammo. In 2008, debt was lower. Inflation was non-existent. Today, if they print money to save the banks, inflation explodes. If they fight inflation, they crash the economy. They are trapped. When a nation's economy quietly crumbles, what disappears first? It's not the buildings, it's choice. Your freedom to plan for the future vanishes. Your savings become worthless paper. Safety disappears as police budgets are slashed. Health disappears as the medical system strains under cost cutting. We saw this in Greece. We saw this in Venezuela. It happens fast, and it spares no one. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this so you can prepare. While the masses sleepwalk, you must build your ark. Focus on 3 things. First, defense of capital. Get out of bad debt, now. Especially variable rate debt. Cash is king during a crash. But real assets are king during a currency collapse. Gold, silver, land. Things that don't rely on a server being online. Second, competence. In a crisis, a hedge fund manager is useless. A plumber, a mechanic, a farmer, a medic. These people are royalty. Can you fix things? Can you grow things? Your skills are the only wealth that cannot be inflated away or taxed. Third, mental armor. The biggest killer in a crisis is panic. In 2008, people sold at the bottom because they were terrified. Build a community. Know your neighbors. A strong network is better than a bunker full of beans. History moves in cycles. Empires rise and empires decline. The US system is showing cracks that we can no longer ignore. But remember, chaos is a ladder. The 2008 crisis wiped people out, but it also created massive opportunities. For those who held cash and kept a cool head, the collapse of the old way is the birth of the new. Don't be the victim who says, "I didn't know." Be the one who prepared. The system may be fragile, but your future doesn't have to be. If you want to survive the coming shift, you need to stay informed. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are going to navigate this storm together.